And welcome back to Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition History Lessons. Today we are continuing with the Mongols again, apparently. I imagine it's about their battle tactics more than anything else. Anyway, the nomadic horse people of Mongolia assembled the world's largest land empire in a series of military conquests spread over a few generations beginning in the 12th century. In the course of their conquest, the Mongols fought most of the other world powers in medieval Asia and Europe, winning in almost every case. Their empire was built entirely on military conquest thanks to an army that was unlike any other in the world. They were thought invincible by most of their opponents. Their campaign into Europe turned back only after the death of the ruling family. The possible claimants to the throne headed home with the forces and never returned. The Mongol army. The Mongols were nomadic herders and hunters who spent their lives in saddles of their steppe. Ponies. Okay. They learned to ride and use weapons, especially the composite bow, at an early age. For hunting and war, every able-bodied male under the age of 60 was expected to take their part. The armies of the United Mongol tribes consisted of the entire adult male population. They fought under a strict code of discipline. Booty was held collectively. The penalty was death for abandoning a comrade in battle. This discipline, together with leadership, intelligence gathering, and organization, raised the Mongol force from a cav swarm into a true army. The Mongol army was organized according to a decimal system, with units of 10, 100, 1,000, and 10,000 men. These members for units were probably rarely approached due to the casualties and attrition. The 10,000 man unit was the major fighting unit, like a modern division capable of sustained fighting on its own. Individual soldiers identified most of the 1,000 man unit, of which they were a part, the equivalent of a modern regiment. Original Mongol tribes fielded their own 1,000 man unit. Conquered peoples such as the Tatars and Merkits were broken up and distributed among other units so they could pose no organized threat to the ruling family. Genghis Khan created a personal guard of 10,000 men. This unit was recruited across tribal boundaries and selection was a high honor. In its early stages, it served as a form of honorable hostage holding. It grew into the family household and the source of the growing empire's ruling class. Mongol soldiers at first received no pay other than booty. Advancement was based on merit. Once the rapid conquest slowed, a new system of pay was put in place. Officers were later able to pass their posts to heirs. Each soldier went on a campaign with approximately 5 horses, allowing quick charges and rapid movements. No comparable armies moved as rapidly as the Mongols until the mechanized army of the 20th century. Mechanic? Okay, that's a weird word. Anyway, the Mongols fought mainly as light cav archers, unarmored, using the compound bow. This was a compact weapon of impressive range and penetration power. They employed Chinese and Middle Easterners as siege engineers. Infantry, garrison troops, and heavy cav that used lances came from armies of subjected peoples. Mongol tactics. The Mongol armies relied on firepower, the ability to move quickly, and a reputation for ruthlessness that came to precede them. All their opponents moved much more slowly and deliberately. The Mongols looked for opportunities to divide an enemy force and overwhelm the pieces with rapid bow shots. They sought to surround or encircle enemies and achieve local superiority of numbers. Horses of mounted enemies were wounded, dismounting the riders and making them more vulnerable. The Mongol light cav could not stand against a heavy cav charge, so they feigned flight to draw the knights into exhaustive charges that left them vulnerable. The fleeing Mongols turned rapidly and became the hunter. They excelled in setting ambushes and surprise attacks. Mongol army leaders made great use of scouts and synchronized force movements to catch the enemy at disadvantage. The Mongols made extensive use of terror. If the population of one city was massacred after capture, the next city was most likely to surrender without a fight. This proved the case as city after city surrendered upon the approach of Mongol armies. Alright, that's the end of this one. I'll be back next time with castles.